Okay, so in today's video, I kind of want to talk about what happens when you truly lock in with God and give Him, or draw near to Him. Sorry. Because for the longest time I claimed I was Christian. I had that Bible verse in my bio. I repped this cross. I tried to act holy. Jeez, I gotta shave my neck, man. One of you guys gotta call me out on that. Come on. But I claimed I was holy. I claimed I was this amazing, great guy. I'm drawing near the Christ. I'm fully locking in with Him. But I was always giving it not 100%. I would say 80 to 85, because number one, on the weekdays I would do pretty good when I started to lock in, like give Him the morning, read my Bible, pray, do all this, not listening to secular music, do the good habits, lock in on my business, everything like that. But as soon as it got to the weekend, all bets were off. Everything was out the window. Me and my boys riding around town, bumping Lil Uzi. We're hotboxing, drinking, just all the stupid stuff, man. All the stupid stuff, lusting after girls, having these dumb, dirty talks, making just stupid jokes, just dumb, genuine, dumb stuff that wouldn't put God in a good light to people from the outside point of view. People who didn't know Jesus and then saw me doing what I was doing would probably want to draw away from Jesus. Probably want to walk away and say, wow, that kid claims to be Christian, but he's doing all this, right? They kind of would give a questionable look to me. Okay. And that's number one why I preach so much about if you're truly want to be dialed in with God, you actually have to like do your best at it. You have to genuinely try. Yes, I know we're all going to mess up, right? But think about all the people who don't know Jesus Christ, and then they see you, maybe you're at the bar or something, acting stupid. Maybe you grabbed a woman inappropriately. Maybe you got into a bar fight. Maybe you're driving every day and you're swearing all the time, or you're in road rage, or one of your coworkers see you blasting music and making stupid jokes, right? If you claim to walk with Christ, you genuinely have to give it your all. But anyways, so that's number one. I would say I was giving like 80%. Either all bets were off with the weekend, right? And like I would say, oh, I'm following Christ, but I can't give up X. Okay, whether it be, this motion, whether it be smoking, whether it be drinking, whether it be, you know, having vanity in the gym. I was always giving 80 to 85%. I was always saying, yes, I'm following Jesus Christ, but I can't give up this. Or, yes, I'm following Jesus Christ, but I'm still struggling with X, right? Whatever the case may be. When in all reality, was I really struggling? Yes, to a certain extent. Maybe I was struggling with lust a little bit, but I could have tried harder, man. And that's the kind of the thing you'll realize as you grow in your walk with Christ. You say you're here, you pull like the Isaiah, here I am, God, I'm ready, right? But in all actuality, you're not. Okay? You say you're trying your best, you say you're trying to draw near to Him, but I guarantee you're not. Okay? That sin that you're struggling so endlessly with, you're not. Okay? Let's give, for example, lust. And I'm not calling anyone out here because I did it. But was I really struggling with lust? Maybe. But there are a multitude of things I could have done differently. Turning my phone on airplane mode, powering it off, not having it in my room, right? Deleting all the apps, sleeping with my Bible in my hands. There are a multitude, I don't know. But there are a bunch of different things I could have done that would have sped up the process that I just didn't do. And, when you look back on it, you were like, yeah, you were trying, but you weren't giving it your all. Okay, same with, whatever habit it is, right? Maybe you're struggling with smoking, right? But are you still hanging around with the friends who smoke? Are you still driving home the same day or same way from work every single day and you're passing the smoke shop, right? Do you still have a family member in the house who has access to all these things that you could easily, take from their room, right? You gotta look at it. Okay, but I'm not here to criticize you. We're all human. We're not Jesus. We're not here to make mistakes, right? But I want to talk about what happens when you truly decide to lock in with God. Okay, because, you know, when I started to not give that 80%, but give that 100%. And I mean genuinely give that 100%. I'm talking about waking up every single day, not playing on my phone, doing nothing like that, getting in my Bible, reading my word, getting on my knees, praying to God. And yes, I'm not perfect at this, no, but it's, I'm telling you what I did. Okay, getting in my Bible, reading every single day in the morning, giving the morning to God, not listening to any music on my drive to work, not listening to podcasts, nothing, just praying, sitting here, being silent with the Lord, getting rid of secular music, getting rid of drugs, getting rid of, alcohol, everything that was holding me back from my walk with God, removing lust, getting every trigger out of my life. Okay, doing every single possible thing I could do to draw near to God, working on my purpose every single day, right? And when you start to do that, you will obtain favor from the Lord. Okay, you will obtain favor from the Lord. Now, a lot of you who are into business or entrepreneurship or self-improvement, you know that you can create luck. It's the same thing with favor. You are creating favor, which inherently is just luck. Okay, but you're creating favor with the Lord, and I like to look at it as this way. There's the guy number one, who, is going out, he's partying every single night, or, he's drinking, he's smoking, he's doing all this, all those bad habits, he's sleeping around with a bunch of girls, but then he is also, going to the gym, right? And then there's guy number two, okay, and he's not going out, okay, he's sitting inside, he's journaling, he's reading his books, he's doing whatever the case may be, and then he's also going to the gym, okay, and they go to the same school. They go to the same school. They go to university together. Ooh, creatine dust in my mouth. Oh, but they go to the same university together, and man, that woke me up. They go to the same university together, and they both meet a beautiful girl named Jordan, or whatever. We're just using Jordan for the example, and Jordan is the dream wife everyone wants. Okay, she, doesn't sleep around with people, and, she is caring, she's loving, she has goals, she goes to the gym, she makes amazing banana bread, right? She does everything you want in a love, in a girl, in a wife, in a mother of your children, right? Who do you think God's gonna give the favor to? Is he gonna give give it to guy one who's going out partying all night and is now locking in just because Jordan's there? Is he going to give it to guy two who's going to church every single Sunday, applying the principles he learns in the Bible, using that formula I talked about in my previous video, right? Who is he giving it to? All right, he's giving it to guy two, okay? And it's the same with everything. If you're locking in and you're obedient with the Lord, you're going to have so many more breaks in life. Okay, my business struggled for so long, but as soon as I started to lock in and give my 100% to God, dude, it flipped the switch, man. Like, all this stuff comes effortless. I can't even say it. Effortlessly. I don't know. Oh, it comes so easy now. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of breaks in business, bunch of clients who I never thought I could have. YouTube, this channel, it's blowing up. All right, we have 200 subs. I know that's not a lot, but we're getting a lot of views on these videos, and I'm very thankful for that, right? It just comes so much easier. You're going to have so many more breaks in your life, man. God's going to give it to you. Every single dream, every single thing you've been praying for, whether it be, that wife, whether it be that business, that body, that physique, anything. When you start locking in with God and obtaining favor and sowing, dude, you're going to reap so much more. Okay, I struggled with business for so long, and as soon as I locked in with God, dude, everything came into fruition, man. And I promise you, if you just give 6 weeks of it, you're going to be a completely new and different person. Okay, genuinely, everything that you will want in life, you will have it. Well, not will have it. You're not going to have the $1 million, right? But you're going to be a completely new person if you just give your mornings to God. Okay, eat clean, go to the gym, read your Bibles 2 times a day, give an hour to God each day, cut out all the things leading you away from God: drinking, smoking, gossip, laziness, lust, whatever that is. If you cut those out and you genuinely try your hardest, I promise you, your life will change. Okay, and if this video, if these things I talked about, if that hit you, all right, it's because God's trying to wake you up. Okay, I built a 6-week plan to help you stop doing things that hurt you and start doing what God wants for you and become the strongest, happiest, and holiest version of yourself. It's not some watered down course. It's a path that I've lived myself, that I just talked about in this video. Okay, it's an amazing path, and let me tell you, this path, it took me 3 years, but I promise you, if I had a mentor, if I had someone telling me the info and the advice I'm giving you guys, everything I would have achieved is would have gone so much more smoother, so much faster. I would have become the person I am today in 6 months, not 3 years, 6 months. Okay, in this 6-week course, I say 6-week course, but this 6-week plan will allow you to become the holiest version of yourself, the strongest and happiest version of yourself. And if you are interested, my Instagram is Christoph_Lanigan_. Just DM me and let's book a call, and I'll build you a custom plan and help you grow in your walk with Christ. I love you, boys.